And through it all, I did it my way. And regrets, I've had a few. But did you know my chunky thighs weigh? Oh dear, forgot the words. I'll sing it my way. Good morning. Welcome to the Smoking Puck Mobile from our mobile studios here at the Channel Ocho Production Company. Not really a technical name. At the Reverend Sully Network. More of a loose affiliation of 10 fingers and 10 toes. Here at the Eric O'Sullivan channel. Oh, that's for real. It's our weekly hockey vlog. Hockey. That's right. Ugh. I'm pooped. I don't wonder why. Maybe it's the time differential. We lost an hour. Or did we gain an hour? I can never keep that one straight. Which one's which? It's like 35 degrees Fahrenheit. And this chilly November morning. It's gonna rain later. I think Guns N' Roses wrote a song about that. When I look into your eyes, I can see love restrained. But darling, when I hold you, don't you know I feel the same? Hi, how you doing? Welcome to content. It's the Smoking Puck, the Boston-based hockey column from yours truly, Reverend Sully himself. I could use another day. I'll get one in a week, 2 weeks. We'll have a Tuesday off for Veterans Day. And then there's a 4-day weekend with Thanksgiving. Just gotta stick it out and be like, hey, stay healthy, stay active, don't get down in the dumps, don't get gloomy. You know, you'll feel better when you start moving, you know, just when your blood's going, you're breathing, you're oxygenated. Do some stretches. I do stretches every morning and every day. I do 3 stretches. Charlie card, T-Pass, coffee. Hopefully, this is my brand new Charlie card. Go. No problems there. Alrighty, let's grab a seat and wait for that first train of the day. When is he going to start talking about hockey? Hockey? Hockey there, Chief. Hockey, pal. The best game in the world. God's sport. On the 8th day, God was bored, so God created Canadians, who created a sport, the yin and yang of sports, of sheer brutality and utter grace. It was a good weekend. Bruins are on a 3-game win streak. 14 games played in the regular season so far. We are at 7-7. That's 500 hockey. It's better than losing 6. And 6 of those losses came we lost 5 in a row. Yeah, because we started off with 3 and 5, and now we've won 3 straight. Paper towel for the bench. Let me wipe down the other side too, so the girl doesn't have to. She can see. This is called paying it forward. Not too much bird boopy on the bench. There we go. Yeah. Did I just say bird boopy? Well, I'm looking for I'm looking for cutesy-isms. I'm gonna fill this channel full of cutesy-isms. and especially the hockey show. But yeah, Morgan Geekie is leading the team with 9 goals. David Pasternak is a little bit behind him, but he's got more assists. And Pasta's the overall points leader. And who's the overall points leader in the NHL right now? I don't know. See, I can't access information and record on my phone at the same time. Maybe I need a secondary device and be like, and like this. Let me flood my life with Black Mirrors. That is just the tablet or your phone. That is, the mirror that we speak of. Did I watch any of the games? No, I don't have the cable service. But I read a heck of a good game. No, I keep track, on the, I pull up the Google page, and it's got the counter, it's basically as live as I can get without being at the game or watching it at the pub. You can check out the box score and the play-by-play. And, we started the season 3-0, and everyone was like, oh, look at us, we're undefeated. We go on to lose the next 6 games. Everyone's like, look at us, we're losers again. Oh, fire everybody. Start with Sweeney and Neely. I hope you didn't hear that. Thank God you can't smell it. I mean, I had chili yesterday, and then I had extra garlicky broccoli. Woe to my coworkers. But yeah, I had. I made yesterday was a football Sunday. Like I said, I don't have regular TV. I don't have cable TV. All I have for TV is YouTube and Amazon Prime, which I get with my subscription because I get free shipping. So I love the Amazon channel. So what does that do for local sports? I can't get channels 4, 5, and 7 anymore. I don't know how to. And then they don't come through the Wi-Fi TV, which is weird too. So I'm like, how do I get, I don't watch local news or the local weather or the local politics, just local news is really the less you say about stuff, the better sometimes. But I don't have the local sports package, and I'm fine with that. So I watch as much hockey as I can. I've been a fan all my life. I keep if you follow me on Twitter X, at my timeline, you might be able to access my list. It's called Hockey Stuff. And it's just about 30 different accounts that I've cobbled together. It's pretty Bruins, based, of course, like this show. But, rumors, salary cap stuff. I'm still I was on Wes's Thinking Critical this weekend. We're talking about the financials and economics of a healthy comic book industry and stores and shops and customers. And then I kind of laterally juxtapose it to the amount of economics and financials it takes to be a sports fan, and how they parallel. I am very financially illiterate, especially when it comes to salary cap. I know it grows every year. The NHL, I did a little bit of research. The NHL, I guess, after one of the last strikes, was one of the first leagues to institute a 50-50 revenue split with owners and players. And the other leagues kind of quickly fell into place, except for baseball, which doesn't, I believe, have a 50-50 revenue split, and they don't have a salary cap. That's more, I think, was more like it. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section if I am. And congratulations to the LA Dodgers for winning their second straight World Series, their third in 5 years. That's pretty cool. That's 4 championships for Mookie Betts, former Red Sox, one of my favorites. So I root for Mookie Betts, Team Mookie. But it was good to see the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series and representing the American League East. Yeah, I'm talking about baseball for a second. You had 3 teams from the AL East, the American League East, in the playoffs: the Red Sox, the New York Yankees, and the Toronto Blue Jays, and who ultimately went to the World Series itself. So buttons, I know, huh? But yeah, it's a cold Monday morning. And yeah, nothing much going on. I mean, I put on a hockey fights channel on my timeline, and it gives me the most random hockey fights from minor league and NHL games. And it's like kind of like the league has gotten a little meaner. It's weird, like I say about the yin and yang of sports. I mean that. What is a yin and yang? A yin and yang is a Taoist representation about, which is like Chinese spirituality. I think it might not even be Taoist. It just might be Confucianism. Sorry, those are 2 different things. Sorry. And to explain the energy of the world, you have one side black, one side white, and those are descriptors of color, not about culture or anything. We're talking from things from a Chinese point of view, I believe. And inside the black part, you have a tiny bit of white. Inside the white part, you have a tiny bit of black. The scalloped, teardrop of inside the circle. It's got a bias. It's equal on both sides. It has motion. It looks like it promotes motion. It's about the balance of life. It's a simple metaphor. It's pithy, Pithy. And so I go to say, like, the hockey is God's sport. On the 8th day, God created Canadians, and the Canadians created the yin and yang of sports. So buttons. And but nothing more proves it, such as, like, I think, like, the past few seasons, but, like, I've been paying attention a lot more this season, and fights, like, leveling, like, somewhat clean checks, open ice checks, just and players mixing it up, after the whistle. And like, what are the brands of hockey that's successful these days? It has to be what Paul Maurice is doing in Sunrise, Florida, with the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers, I've watched a couple of videos on it, and it's interesting, because it's like oh, that's what everyone else knows, that the Florida Panthers play an aggressive and brutal type of game, that they'll punish you when you come into their defensive zone. They create opportunities by keeping, playing a dump and chase that uses the corners but keeps it away from the goalie. The goalie can only handle the puck in the trapezoid area behind his net. And if he handles the puck anywhere besides that, outside of his goal mouth, I believe, he can be called for a penalty. And so, but I think it's just the rest of the league adapting to the championship style of the Florida Panthers, of whom have appeared in 3 consecutive Stanley Cup finals. They've won the past 2. They're probably on track to do it again. They have all they have a few key injuries, like their captain Barkov, Matt Tkachuk, a few others, but it's about core, it's about philosophy, and it's about sticking to the game plan. And I think that's what they're going to do. But to compete with the rest of the league means you need to figure out their cipher and the standard, the champion. And so I've seen that the league has like really stepped up when it comes to physical play, punishing play, fights, roughings. It's pretty obvious. And so there is a like, and then comes the yin and yang part. Then comes like, if you go to the NHL.com, if you follow is the teams like I do, and you know that like social media is basically, well, that's the women's work. Sorry, we need to make spaces for women in our sports. We need to make spaces for them in the, how they can contribute to the team. Come on, I mean, like, coach, because there are 22 players on a team. They all have to be biologically men, I believe. I don't know. I don't want to get caught in a miasma of modernity and newspeak. But, have there been any female coaches in the NHL level yet? No. I think there is an assistant coach here or there. I'm not sure about referees officiating, but you have to make room for women somehow in the league. So one of the most natural fits are like social media manager. So if you're ever watching, reading a social media of, I don't do Insta, I don't do Facebook or MySpace or Friendster anymore. I just do Twitter and YouTube. But you'll notice quickly that it's very girl friendly. It's very puppies, fashion, smiling, handsome young players. That's what they're going for. Women spend I've heard an interesting statistic, a modern statistic, that women make 80% of buying decisions in America or the West. The women spend the money. That's why women, have financial freedom. It was only 50 years ago that women were allowed to be free of their husband's credit. These things are like less than 3 generations old. Like this like newfound freedom. But we have to make room for women somewhere in the sport. And the most obvious place, I guess, would have to be, in those non-playing roles, non-coaching roles. I mean, there's got to be women everywhere in the organization, and not just the wives and girlfriends club that run charities. We talk, management, trainers, doctors, technicians, and especially social media. So, like, one thing I've noticed about Bruin social media, that it's just like, oh God, here comes the dopey chick shit again. It's like, and I don't mean that nastily, as like, to put down the social media managers. Here comes the train. Your favorite part of the broadcast, I know. Here comes the train again. Choo 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 chugga 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 choo. It doesn't know and not go chugga choo choo choo. It's an electric train. Oh yeah, look at this kid sitting in the middle just like that, taking up a good spot. So yeah, is Morgan Geekie gonna have a 50-goal season? Don't know. Is he on track? He is. What about Pasta? Did they last you? I don't know. There's 14 games played, 68 more to go. Long season. I'm here for it. Oh, boy. We play the Islanders tomorrow night in Long Island. I would love to go. I got friends in Long Island. I would love to be able to, just get a bunch of tickets. Be like, guys, we're going to the game. I'd like to go to Pittsburgh. Grab my buddy Doc, who's a huge Penguins fan. I would love to check out the Penguins. I'd like to check out any hockey game in any city I go to. That would be cool. But yeah, I mean, nothing really to report about. I gotta do a couple of shows at home where I can bring up statistics and data and pictures and stuff. I mean, because that's what fuels these conversations, like going back to the economics and about my ignorance, like in both hobbies, in comics and in sports. Like, all this financials goes right over my head. I mean, I'm looking at a Boston Bruins salary cap page, and it's like, okay, the salary cap is $95 million this year, but we have like $1.5 million of wiggle room. It's going to go up over $100 million next year, and more than that the following year. I don't know. That's all I got. Well, thank you so much. Please hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, hit that hype button, whatever the hell that does. The Chicken Marketing put that there for a reason. Just kind of like the Chicken social media feeds puts the pictures of puppies in fashion. I know, huh? You have a wonderful day. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We'll see you with more videos. Bye.